How we doing, people? New York City architecture, Mona Linda art. Oh, Vicky's on here. Vicky's an Art Storefronts team member. What's up, Vicky?
Awesome.
Mark Stahl. Hey, Mark. How we doing, Mark? Mark's a member. Kathy Lloyd.
Hey, Colleen.
Colleen Brown. Hey, Colleen.
All right, Nick, we're live on all of them. So why don't you introduce yourself? I'll introduce myself because that's what we do.
Yep. Excuse me. Nick Friend, CEO and owner of Art Storefronts.
And Patrick Shanahan. I don't have to say who I am because we got these fancy little graphics here that are discussing our titles, right? Yeah, it's kind of cool. How was your Mother's Day weekend? Was it all right?
It was great. How about you?
Yeah, really, really good. I'm exhausted. I need a break from the break. But my mother and my mother-in-law are both happy, so I feel done. It was a good 20 hours worth of cooking this weekend, I tell you. I was throwing down.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, you know, with my wife, she has earned this Mother's Day 100x, you know, just by having 3 kids home all the time, you know, for the last 2 months. It's just a lot of extra work.
Oh, you're not kidding. Insanity. If you guys are watching, can somebody just leave a comment and say, hey, we can hear your audio. It's all good. That would be fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't you got some announcements? Why don't you set us in?
Yeah. Well, I'll just say, I mean, here we are. We're on a Monday, and another amazing week in the books. I mean, there's just no other way to say it, right? So, for those of you who haven't been following us on this, at least, like for the last 2 months, we have been publishing like sales data, you know, and all the information about, you know, where art is selling, what's happening, and things like that. Notable art sales on the platform. They're getting emailed out like every couple of days. And just trying to keep everybody updated in the industry, like, you know, where the things are happening. And obviously with our own customers, with our members in our private workshops, we're working on strategies and playbooks and things like that together, you know, focused on where art is selling and making sure that everybody's focused on that. But what happened last week was continued growth in week-over-week sales from our artist and photographer websites, from their own websites. That's the big story. It continues and it doesn't stop. I just want to read these back to you, okay? So wait, so this is starting at on April 5th, the week of April 5th, okay? So sales from the artist and photographer websites were up 150% year over year. So what we're doing there is we're comparing the same week in 2020 as the same week in 2019, right? And what would you think? We've said this multiple times, but I think anybody who didn't know what's actually happening right now, that home DIY and all that stuff, home decor items are like one of the winners in this pandemic situation, you would not think that that would have happened. I mean, if I did a poll and I was like, do you think April sales for this week, you know, April 5th, with the same exact days in 2019, which one did better, you know? And so it was up 150%. So I'm gonna rattle through the weeks after it up to last week, okay? So 150%, 160% the week after, 105%, 215%, and last week, 256% growth year over year from the artist websites. And guess what? The revenue that came in last week was Black Friday levels, literally like right on par. It was like $3,000 difference, basically the exact same, $3,000 difference between the two. We are literally seeing Black Friday level volume every week now, legitimately.
Yeah.
Legitimately. Black Friday level sales volume every week. Like, just wrap your head around that. Can you believe that?
No, and it squares with like all the data that we keep reading after the weekend of the various other e-commerce merchants and how hard they're all blowing up. Like, it's real. It's real and it's crazy.
It's totally real.
Oh, there shows no signs of stopping.
Exactly. I mean, you have such an opportunity at your disposal as a photographer or artist. It's unbelievable. Like, you really have, I mean, seriously, like this, like you really have to look at this situation as glass half full for what it is, right? I mean, obviously there's a lot of, the situation is terrible. There's nothing good about it, right? But for your future, the glass half full aspect of it is that the more of the market that is online, the better it is for you, period. I think that rule just applies because you have a bigger crack at the market than you otherwise would have. When there was no internet, your only opportunity was your local shows and galleries. And if you got any galleries that you could get in another state, good for you. No, hardly anybody I know was able to really do that, you know? Like very few people were able to do that. But you had no other opportunity, right? It was all brick and mortar. And so the more that the market goes online, if you have a great digital strategy, you can take advantage of more of it. And I think that that is profound. So any time in history, any events that happen that cause more buyers to be willing to shop online, willing to like watch you live and, you know, watch your videos and doing live art show, any of the type of stuff that you can do, you have a bigger market opportunity than you otherwise have. You could have people in any state in the country or anywhere in the world that potentially can buy your work, right? Who otherwise might not have done so because they actually really liked, you know, the habit of going to galleries or going to local art shows. But you can't do that anymore, you know? So that easiness that they had where they would just do that, they're just not doing it anymore. And a lot of people are discovering like, whoa, this experience online is incredible. Like it's actually pretty convenient in many ways. Like, you know, you have said like the best way to sell art is in person. And it's like, you know, it's like, of course, like seeing and feeling the print and all that stuff is nice, but there's also a hassle factor to it, right? Like the friction and the hassle of like, do I really have to go drive to this place? Do I really have to go do all of that? Like a lot of people just don't really care to do that or don't want to do that. Some people do. There's an experience that goes along with it. But when you see that the experience is actually pretty darn good online and you can provide a great experience, kind of changes the picture. And that's being learned right now. The industry is like it's happening right now. And photographers and artists are executing on different strategies like this. And I think it's totally changing the entire landscape forever. I think it will change it forever. You know, like one of our members this weekend, Magic, he did an art show, like his own gallery show. He dressed nice for the part, and his customers loved it. Like they were commenting on there, like this is so much fun. And so they're all sitting back at home, like I'm actually at an art gallery opening right now. He's going through like 10 pieces, showing them close up, talking about what he likes about them and what he was inspired by. And I mean, there's a whole playbook that we're building out for this because it's becoming obvious to me like, okay, wait, this can be done in very specific ways, you know, to build your email list, get more leads, and to close deals on the spot. Anyways, yeah. So overall picture, it's really amazing what's going on. And you got to look at it from that perspective because you need to adjust and build a business for America 2.0, this new world that we're in, and stop worrying about the old.
Yeah, it's insane. And, you know, you and I have had these conversations about how, you know, certain restaurants figured it out early on and certain were just out to lunch, right? Like,
yes,
like day one, they've been like take out gloves, masks, whatever, like, you know, wiping the cardboard. I feel like a lot of the galleries are starting to wake up now too. And a lot of the galleries are like, okay, how do we do a virtual show? What's the technology? Do we have a good enough connection in the studio or in the gallery itself? If not, beef that thing up. Like, where are we going? Like all of it. So it's just fascinating. But to your point, I don't think it's changing. You know, it was on the path already, right? Like e-commerce taking over the world, but now it just got such a shot in the arm. And it's like, once you figure it out, there's just no going back. Is there? Why would I go out? You know, why would I go out?
Yeah. So it's going to be, I think the online is going to just be the majority of everything rather than the minority, you know, going forward. I think with everything you buy online, like you remember 20 years ago, you'd be like, I never buy shoes online, right? What am I going to do? I'm going to get them. I'm going to have to try them on and then I'm going to have to send them back. Well, shoes really sell online. And I mean, like, I can't remember the last pair of shoes that I bought in the store, to be honest with you, you know? And so everything kind of goes down that path, shopping for groceries, you know, like any of that stuff. When you actually experience it for the first time, you're like, well, that was pretty easy. I didn't have to go to the mall or I didn't have to go find a parking spot at this place. I didn't have to go down there.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I do too. And so it doesn't matter really what the product is. I mean, you know, like you could talk about it with any sort of product. Like, you know, for example, like Tesla, you buy a Tesla online from the website. There is no buying in person, you know, and you never talk to a sales rep at all. In fact, you could talk to somebody, but they're just there to help you. like at the dealership or whatever. There's really no dealership. And you go through that process and you're like, everybody should be doing this. Everybody should be doing this. Nobody likes to go down to the dealership and haggle and sit there all day and sign all the papers, right? Like the experience, like when you go through the different experience, it oftentimes changes the way that you think about it.
By the way, did you see what kind of weekend Elon had? Woo!
I did.
Fire.
Yeah. Wow.
Fire. Yeah. That was nuts. What's up, Scott? How you doing? Yeah, it's forever changed. Everything's changing, and I'm so sick of it. How many times we use America 2.0 and the new norm? I hate that word, the new norm, but boy, I don't know how else you say it.
Yeah, look,
it's the new norm.
It is what it is, and you just move on, right? Like as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a whatever your role is, like you just got to move on, And one of the best things that we did is like the second it happened, it's like, it is what it is. We had our whole art marketing calendar. We had our whole marketing plans for the whole year for all of our customers out the window. You know what? And everything brand new. Everything brand new. Everything that we have been doing and we have been advising and coaching in our playbooks, it's literally almost like, I would say 80% of it is brand new, because obviously like there's some Mother's Day tactical and all that went on that just ended. But like the rest of it is largely brand new, and everybody that's executing on it, those are the ones that are succeeding, right?
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I would also say, like, God, the profundities of it all. If there is one thing, and Art Storefronts, our business, has drastically changed for the better as a result of this pandemic, drastically. If there's one thing, and you and I were talking about this, that changes how you react to one of these situations when it comes up, is your execution speed. How quickly you're willing to test stuff, get stuff in the water, get kicked in the teeth, learn about something that you wouldn't have known about otherwise, and just get going on. Like, that's it. Thanks, Niraj. That's a great comment. You're the man. Can you see the comments, by the way?
I can. I just have to move one of my devices.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and we're live on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, our Facebook group, and Instagram all at once. Why? Because we're executing and we're learning like crazy. And that's just how it's going. And I would also say, like, an important piece of perspective is, we've been marketing on Facebook for a long time. So I think we have maybe 80,000 people that like our page. We've got our group that's packed with our customers. So we have some built-in attention, which is great. YouTube, we've been marketing on for years. I think we have 1,700 subscribers over there. We have largely ignored Twitter for the entire history of this company. We posted to it, we broadcasted to it, which is breaking all of the rules, right, for Twitter. But now we're broadcasting on Twitter. And on Twitter, maybe we get one person watching a stream, maybe two, maybe none. You think we care? You care?
Not at all.
Nope,
not at all.
Me either.
Because it's a marathon.
And I say that to say the long game. Number one. Number two, how long? Yeah, for sure, how long things take. But also just having the perspective early on that when you start doing these lives and video, and boy, could I rant about video. Video is literally changing everything. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's seeing it. Everyone's experiencing it. Everyone's getting closer to their customers. Like, utter, total, and complete game changer. And if you're just getting started and there's no one on your streams, do not worry. Keep motoring along. We're on Twitter right now. Let me just see. I'll just tell you. I'll update you, Nick. We got one. Hey
there.
To the guy on Twitter, to the gal on Twitter. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice that I play to an empty room. I'll take it, right? But
yeah,
it doesn't matter. You got to have the perspective. No. It's like it takes a long time.
I think for those of you watching right now, whether you're an Art Storefronts member or not, right? Like, what we are doing right now, okay? Like, we're broadcasting to 4 different or 5 different channels or platforms, right? We are executing. We are executing on the cutting edge. We are shipping fast. This is our philosophy. This is what we do. When it comes to our marketing consulting with our members, this is what we do, because this is how you ultimately succeed. You don't succeed by being last in line, right? Last to the tactic, last to know about what's working. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. Like, if you implement your pandemic strategy next summer, like, it's probably not going to work very well. You need to do it now and have it for this summer and for this fall, because next year there's going to be something else. Everything's going to have moved forward. The new normal is going to be like, okay, yeah, we're in the new normal, but there's now a new way of operating in the new normal that people have figured out that already started getting after it, 9 months ago or a year ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
and Thomas asked a question about what streaming software we're using. To Nick's whole point, we're experimenting with all of them.
We are. Can't tell you which one is going to be the one that ends up being the best.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Everyone, like, my mind always goes this way too. Like, ooh, what's the software? What's the app? Like in video, boy, has it ever not mattered at all. We've got everything from taking the phone and like what Instagram Live, you have to use the phone, or whether you do TikToks and use the phone. TikTok, you can't go live. I don't even know why I wrote TikTok. I think you can actually. I can't remember if she's doing that or not. We got to figure that out. Anyway, TikTok aside, Instagram Live, you use the phone. Facebook Live, you can use the phone. Facebook Live, you can use a computer. To go to all of them, yeah, you have to get a third-party piece of software, but there's like 6 or 7 different ways to go. You can use Zoom to go to a bunch of them. There's like 10 different ones that I've not even experimented with yet. I think what we're finding early on in our testing, it's video and being competent at it. It's kind of like the game of golf. You need a bag full of clubs. You need a bag full of clubs, and we're literally shipping all of them. And why are we shipping all of them? So that we can learn, we can hack, we can get better at it, we can make the mistakes, and then we can teach our customers. Because let me tell you, it's going to be the future in terms of how you reach your customers and how you sell art. And that's interesting to know. So you can, Thomas says, you can go live on TikTok, but you have to have 1,000 followers. So that's interesting. All the more reason why we got to get going on it. But the TikTok one is really bittersweet to me, because I draw an ideological line between a Chinese-owned company by who knows what and where your data goes, and it creeps me out personally. But maybe I'm being emotional about it, right? They've got attention.
You're being emotional about it. Doesn't matter. Yeah, they got attention. It is what it is. Don't publish any of your private information or data. Just use the platform for what it is and make use of it, right? Make use of it. Don't be the one who gets used. Make use of the platform. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Understand it's a symbiotic relationship. They're taking you to the cleaners for your data and for advertising revenue and whatnot, and your job is to siphon off as much of the attention as they've got as possible, and don't ever stop. Don't ever stop.
And that goes for every platform. Yeah. That goes for every platform.
Yeah,
it's the same, right? Whether it's Facebook or Instagram, that's what they're doing it for. They want the data. They want to sell you. You are the product. The user is the product, right? Like, we are all the product, I should say. But play the game that in the way that benefits you, and it's symbiotic. And if it's symbiotic with these platforms, you tend to do well. Yeah.
And you can run Scott's strategy here, which looks really awesome. Make a video, watch a video. Didn't realize I look like a potato. Delete the video. Oh, that's funny. Well, yeah, we're starting to see more signs of it, and it's, we're not being any grand fortune tellers here by planting our flag to say that video via the socials, however you want to do it. You could say someone put an Instagram comment about blue jeans. Doesn't matter if it's blue jeans or it's Zoom or if it's messenger rooms or whatever, but video selling art is absolutely the future, and we're seeing it unfold at lightning pace right now, and it's just winning. I saw that there was an article in the New York Times this morning talking about how, I got it here, I can even show it. I've never done the screen share on this thing. Should we try?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'll tell everybody, if you are not an Art Storefronts member, we will be doing a live demo Zoom call with you guys on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central. So that would be 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern. Okay. So Patrick and I will be on there and we will have one of the people from our outreach team. We had Reed last week, but we're going to run a short demo on there so you can see like the products. It's not going to be everything, but it'll be short and sweet. So you can see like all the front end features, and you can see the marketing features as well that come with the marketing and the consulting product, because so many people they're starting to think more correctly, which is a website is not enough, right? Just because you have a website doesn't mean you have an art business. We've talked about this a lot, but you can just Google 99% of all Shopify stores fail, right? Like it's not a knock on Shopify. It's a problem everywhere. Like a generic website, a website is not enough. So a lot of people are very, intrigued about what is the marketing consulting product that Art Storefronts can provide to help me get traffic, eyeballs on my art. That is the right question to be asking. That is absolutely the right question to be asking. That is the intelligent question. So we're going to be showing that on Wednesday on this Zoom call for non-Art Storefronts customers. So if you don't already follow us on Facebook, make sure you go over there and you follow us on there so that you can get the notification. Also, I would recommend subscribing to our email list. If you go to our website or our blog, there's a link in the bio if you're on Instagram, and you can go to the website otherwise, but I would subscribe to our email list because we will email out the schedule always whenever we do that. Let me ask you a technical question real quick, because I'm only seeing me on the Facebook stream. Is that? Oh, so it lost your side. That's what it does. All right. If you guys have any questions too, while Patrick and I are on here that you want to ask us, go ahead and drop a comment. Doesn't matter which platform you're on. And what are the services? Okay, so we provide an all-in-one solution for artists and photographers to build their own valuable art business long-term. Okay, there's two main products that we offer. Number one is the proper art gallery website with all of the features that you need to sell art online and to give your customers the best buying experience possible. Okay, we live in the age of customer experience. Buying art is a very high friction process. This is why generic websites do not do a good job at it. You need to answer all of the tough questions that come up when somebody is buying a piece of art. So you get all the features and everything. We call it a proper art gallery website. So that's the first thing. The second thing that we do is provide business and marketing consulting, okay, to all of the photographers and artists on the platform. That includes a 365-day-a-year marketing plan, as well as workshops, direct one-on-one workshops together with you guys and us every Tuesday and Thursday, where we're on a Zoom conference call together and we're talking about everybody's specific business. You get to come on and we actually talk and answer questions and make sure that you have the guidance that you need to get over your hurdles and your problems. And you're surrounded with higher quality people, so that you start making better decisions for your business. You're not operating alone on an island. So those are the main two things that we do. Our pricing starts with a one-time membership fee. Okay, one time, you only pay it once, of $1,000 and a monthly fee of $44 a month. Okay, and that's the entry-level package. It goes up from there all the way up to the top, which is $2,800 one-time fee, and then $59 a month. And the difference between those two is just features. If you're interested in that, I would recommend requesting a demo. One of our people on the outreach team will reach out to you and go over all the details. There's a ton of features, and you can look at all of the details with them. So that's basically how it works. But what I like to say is, when it comes to like the membership fee is, it starts at $1,000 and you get marketing consulting for life, right? And that's one of the things that people don't really understand. If they've never looked into marketing consulting or solving the marketing problem that they have, you either need to hire an employee or you need to hire consultants. Any good consultant is going to be probably $150 to $200 an hour, right? You sneeze. It's like a famous saying, you sneeze and you get a bill for $1,000 or $2,000. They're like lawyers, right? You get nothing done. But what we're doing is we've created a co-op. That's like the amazing thing about technology and what we've been able to do here is we've created like a co-op where essentially every member, that's why we call it a membership of Art Storefronts, is pitching in, at a fraction of what it would normally cost to get marketing consulting, right? And to get business consulting. And that's the secret sauce. That's the magic of our product at Art Storefronts. And don't get me wrong, the proper art gallery websites, it's the best in the business, right? So like, it's the best features and technology that you can get to sell art online and to have your own art gallery presence. But at the end of the day, you and I both know we don't like to we don't like to sugarcoat it or beat around the bush. Marketing is the only thing that matters. It just is. And so in my minds, if somebody asks like, what is your product? Like, we would probably say 80% of it is the business and marketing consulting, and 20% is the website. Because while every photographer or artist who looks at us goes, they're thinking about it more as 80% is the website, right? And 20% is the consulting. And it's the wrong way of thinking about it, because when you come on board, we literally white glove you on. Like, it's a white glove process to get your website live in 14 days and according to best practices, because you got to set it up correctly. And we help you do that. But after that, it's over with the website. You're just going to upload your work, but it's over, because the rest of it is all marketing. That's it. And if you focus on marketing and you do this the right way, that's what's going to change your business. That's what's going to take you to the next level. And what I'm telling you is, it's not rocket science. This is what goes on in any entrepreneurial business, in any industry, right? Like, you have to do marketing to build a business.
Yeah. No two ways about it. And, you know, Scott was asking whether or not you could just pay for the marketing. You could, but without the website, like, you know, it is a 1 and 2. Early on, the website means nothing. Yeah. Early on, the website means nothing at all. You know, early on, it's all about marketing, because most people start with very little attention, very little traffic. After the fact, the website becomes critically important, because you want to be converting as much of that traffic as you can. And the majority of the rest of the sites out there do not do a very good job at selling art online. And that's just, you know, basic facts. In addition to that, someone else asked on Insta if, okay, guys, thank you. If we build the site for them. So we don't build the site for you. We give you a template that you can plug all your images into.
Yep, exactly. What I would say too, Scott, is that if you're ready, you know, to sign up for like the marketing consulting, like, you have the right mindset. And so I would say you're ready. Like, go ahead and sign up, and you're good to go. It will become what I always tell everybody, that like, oh my gosh, I love my website. I love my website. Like, first of all, what are your sales? Are you happy with them? Because if your sales are not great, then your website that you currently have, it really doesn't matter. Like, just being honest and just being real, right? Like, if you're not selling like $100,000 a year from it, like, you know, it's not doing anything like substantial. We have customers that are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from their art gallery websites, right? So, but the second thing is, when you come on board, over time, as you're executing on the marketing, it will become self-evident to you what the right decision is, okay? And you will move your website over when you're ready, because it will become self-evident.
By the way, how distracting are my kids becoming? I can't do it. I can't do anything about it. They just know how to find
it. It is what it is.
Yeah,
it's part of the pandemic, right?
Sandra asked, do you have an example of artists that you're working with? They're all over our website. If you check out blog.artstorefronts.com or artstorefronts.com.
All over our website, all over our reviews, right? All over our reviews, all over our videos on YouTube. They're literally everywhere.
Yeah. Someone else asked to, can the fee be spread out over a year with a contract for that agreed time frame? I do believe that we have some financing plans in place.
There's a financing company that we work with, and you can ask about that when you request a demo.
Yeah.
So there's a separate company that can do that. I saw another one, another comment from.
I'm going to put you full screen. I'm going to put you full screen, by the way, so I can go escape the kiddos.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead, guys, and ask any other questions that you have on here. I'm going to hammer some of these questions away. So Colleen asked, can you upgrade from the entry level to the higher level? Yes, you can. So there's no problem there. How can I tell if an Instagram proposal by someone to share my works is legitimate? I mean, it just depends on who it is and what they're asking, and take a look at, sometimes I think it depends on what the ask is, but you can ask them for 3 references, you know, like, hey, who have you done this with? That's really happy with, you know, the results.
Yeah. And most of the time it's not, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time when they reach out for you, it's usually not, but it's nothing to get wound up in.
Exactly.
I just had to go gorilla on my move. Beauty. All right.
I need access to physical gift cards for purchase. Digital isn't personal enough for what I have planned. What's the best way to make this happen? I mean, do you still really feel that way given this current situation, that you want to be shipping out physical gift cards? I don't really know. But you can look online and there's companies that do like digital gift card services like that. And you can buy them and, make like, coupon codes or something for them and just assign them to it if that's what you want to do. I just don't know that it's worth it, really. Like we're in an age now that's, people don't want to be handing cards. They don't want to be sliding cards. Your card is only accessible to be used through your website through an actual digital code. You're not going to accept it and slide it anywhere. So there's really no point in having the physical gift card,
That's
I
right.
think it's a lot of extra work for like no ROI, like very little ROI. Oh, it's for local realtors? Handing out cards? Yeah, I don't know. So they're just going to hand out cards for your art as a local realtor? I don't know. That's the way to do it, though. If you want to give that a try, you just Google it. There's companies where you can buy boxes of them, like with your logo on it and stuff like that.
Yeah. What do we have coming up this week?
We have actually. Let me say for Tony. Tony, I have an idea for you. What you could do for that? He says it's closing gifts. So I guess they're going to hand out a gift when somebody closes on a home. What you could do is create one coupon code in your Art Storefronts section and call it like you'll give it whatever the code is, right? And then on your gift cards, put the exact same code on them, because you will know that it's coming from that specific realtor or any realtor. So you could give one code to any specific realtor you want, or you could I would just do upfront one code for all of them, and then you give them away freely, and then you can actually track to see how well it's worked. That's actually a great way of doing it.
So Anita says, the website that you offer allows me to sell prints in different formats: print, metal, acrylic, framed. Yes. Do I also have an image for each format of my art to put on the website? Yeah. One image takes care of all of them. And then do your printers offer sample sales? I love this. I love this question. Yes. Yes to all of the above. And yes, how important it is to get samples of all the different media types, because there's a lot of people that don't offer all of them, and they really should be, because there's some compelling choices out there.
Yeah, you have to buy the samples, but yes, the samples are there.
Yeah.
There's a sample pack and all that.
Yeah, and we offer deals all the time on the printing too.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like, it's a great point. Like, being an all-in-one solution, you can't possibly talk about everything that we offer and all the benefits, and it's so hard for people to understand. But I said this actually on one of our last lives. I said, you will probably save more money on printing over the next however many prints you sell. You're going to save more money by the negotiated print costs that we have with our vendors. You will save more money on that than the entire cost of your membership.
Yep. And Colleen says, I had a meeting with your company a few years back. Is it okay to request a new meeting? Yeah, of course you can.
Absolutely, Colleen.
Yeah.
For sure. Just go ahead and request a demo, and they'll get you in the queue. And by the way, I should say, we are running a huge sale right now to join Art Storefronts. Forgot to mention that. We extended our April sale. It's like a pandemic sale, as we're calling it. Just like it's the best deal we've ever ran, because we know, you got to do that right now, and a lot of people are hurting, and a lot of photographers and artists in particular got caught with this situation where they really had no online strategy. They never had a proper art gallery website. They just had a generic website from a Shopify, Squarespace, or take your pick, and they don't know what to do. They need help, right? And so, so we extended the sale. It's throughout May, but the spots are filling up very fast. That was our problem last month. We couldn't get back to everybody in the last week. So get a demo in, request a demo if you're interested in joining and you want to take advantage of the sale. It's a great time. It's never been a better time. So get that demo request in and they'll get back to you.
Yep. And by the way, when it says Facebook user, I promise we're not just throwing these things on there. It's somebody from our group, and the thing can't pull the data because it's a private group. But thanks, whoever left that comment. It's awesome. You see it? That's one of my careers so far. Warms my heart, I tell you. All right,
Thank you.
You were going to get into
Gretchen.
What?
So schedule for the week. Yeah. So tomorrow for members, we have a workshop on customer experience, and it's based on a new feature, hand-to-hand combat tools, that we released. We released it about a week and a half ago, but I'm doing a private session with the members specifically on customer experience, the tactical, the day-to-day, what you should be doing. It is super important. It's more important than ever. And the reason I'm doing it, the reason these things come up, these lessons come up, I don't just come out of nowhere and just go, hey, I'm just going to do a lesson on this, like picking it out of the sky, right? We're doing it because it's a problem. People are not doing it correctly. They're not thinking about it correctly. And I'm saying like 80% of our members are not, and so when that happens, it's very important to see that like this is what where the whole industry was, like outside of Art Storefronts. So people come in and we see all the patterns and the problems and we go, okay, hold on. We need to resolve this to get everybody leveled up, 10 levels, to where they should be in regards to customer experience. And it's not just like saying, oh, provide a great customer experience. It's what does that mean every day? What does that mean when you get an order? What does that mean when you get an unsold cart? What does that mean when you get a new subscriber? What does that mean when you're going to try to upsell something, right? What does that mean when you're going to do, videos on Instagram and post pictures, right? It all ties together, and it is a super important thing. So we're doing that on Tuesday, and then we're going to have live Q&A with our members to ask any questions to us for general consulting. And then on Thursday, we are doing a workshop. The private workshop is, going over the live art shows and the live sessions that are happening, right? And all of the tactical. So we've released some tactical on that, some playbooks. We've updated them this week. So we'll go over what those updates are in the strategy to get more email subscribers and more sales. And we're going to bring on some of the members that executed this week on them in different ways, because they all kind of went in different directions. Really cool, and they were all kind of, they were. It
doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter right now. Like it's literally, it ties back to everything that we've been saying. It's just about executing. You want to do a single piece. Yeah. You want to paint line. You want to you want to video chat.
The thing that I love is with our membership is how we talk about something. We talk about it generally to start with, that people should be generally doing it. And here's how to think about it. We create like a little outline, and then people go out and they start executing, like our more ambitious members, right? And 5 of them do a version of what we're talking about, and they're all different. And there's nuggets of gold to grab from every single one together. And so we all work together, and then we'll end up with this beautiful playbook at the end with all the different ways that you can utilize it and get the most of it. Because you can see there's ways to do this where you literally get nothing out of it. And then there's ways to do it where you get a lot out of it in terms of like leads and sales, right? And so it's very important to execute on these things properly. And there's nothing more than I love than working with all the entrepreneurs like together, and figuring out like what these things are that are working right now on the cutting edge. Yeah. Isn't it fun?
No, it's super fun. Check out Niraj's question on the screen. I'm going to go close the door.
Okay. So you guys, I have to move you'll notice here, I've got this on Instagram. I've got a phone sitting right in front of me. And then I've got my laptop behind that with the camera behind me. So it's blocking my screen. I can't read the question unless I move the Instagram over.
I'll read it. I'll read it on back.
Okay.
As for your expertise, what is the ideal average customer acquisition cost to acquire a customer online for a $100 art project? Incomplete data set, right? Like what's your margins, right? Are you making $98 on that art piece? Or are you making 10? And it's also, this is also such a good question.
by what channel? Do you know what I mean? Like by what channel? Like we have channels that we're teaching that are free. So there's a zero cost, right? Except for your time. If it's, you have to do this by Facebook ads or whatever it is. And it totally depends. It depends on what the niche is. It's not just a $100 piece of art, but $100 piece of art. I'll just be frank with you. That's not what our customers are mainly going towards, right? Yeah. Like, yes, they do sell those, but the average price is way higher than that. That's being sold by customers on our platform on their own websites. So,
yeah. And it also Niraj, the bigger part of the question is, their technology is so amazing. A phone call comes in, it pauses the broadcast for you. You press end, and you're right back in it. Like, God, they've really figured it out.
Oh, is that what happened? I lost you there for a second. Okay.
Yeah. What Niraj was asking, it's like, okay, well, how good is your marketing? Because is that customer going to buy another piece, What's the LTV of that customer going to be, right? Like there's so much complexity to that question, and there's no magic number. It comes down to your margins.
Do you know what I want to tell? Do you know what I want to tell him? You know what I want to tell him though? I love the question. I love the intelligence and like where your head is with that question. Like I could just tell from that question alone, you're probably a good fit for us. Like potentially, like I would request a demo right away and talk to our people, because like you're a business, like you're going about this with thoughts from a businessman's standpoint. And I can already tell right from that question that like you're probably a good fit.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
This is an interesting question from Lek. So, and I'm going to read it out because I realize that people on Instagram can't see these things. I've been considering some guerrilla marketing tactics to build up community and tourist awareness around the city. He does brand photography in Vancouver. He was considering brand stickers around downtown. Worthwhile task or stick to computer or social media SEO methods. I love the old school in person, offline tactics. So no, I wouldn't necessarily advise against that in the slightest. In fact, we had a customer just recently that I don't want to say what her niche is, but maybe I will. But she has I'm not going to say it. She has a niche. Okay. And she figured out a tactic that was working in the same fashion offline, right? Kind of like you passing stickers out. We had the conversation with her and I'm like, okay, if that's working, why aren't you doubling down on it? Right? Like, don't just do it in the town you live in. Get on Craigslist. So we showed her how to do this. Get on Craigslist. And she lived in Canada. Hit all 5 provinces or 6 provinces, whatever Canada has, and hire people there to post your stickers everywhere. Right? Like triple down on it, because there's less competition in those venues than there is on social. There's less noise than there is on social. So I love those techniques. Downside is it's sort of like when someone comes organically to your website, right? Google doesn't tell you where that came from. So it's hard to measure is I think the big takeaway.
Yeah. And I think also, like there's the broader point, which is, you can do one of those tactics. Is it really going to change everything for you? No, it's not. Like, it's just not. No one tactic is, it's just, like it's the same question that we get in different forms, which is, should I focus more on Instagram or Facebook, right? Do I need to do this with email marketing? It's like, you need to have a robust, consistent, omni-channel, omni-platform marketing strategy. By that, Facebook, Instagram, email, it's not any one thing. It's all of these things working together in a consistent strategy and a coherent strategy, over time. It's not any one of these things isn't gonna do it. And when you have that, and you do any type of marketing, any type of cold marketing like that, like then you have a system that can actually take advantage of it. Especially when you have a proper art gallery website, like that's one of the last things, right? Like the worst thing you could do is go do marketing, because it's hard enough to get visitors and traffic to drive them to a website that can't convert, right? Like it makes no sense if you are an artist or a photographer and you're going to be, properly equip yourself, please. Just do that. It's no different than like buying a decent camera or a lens or, like not skimping on your oils or whatever it might be. Like you wouldn't do it on that. Don't skimp on the customer experience. Just equip yourself properly. If that's what you're going to be doing, why wouldn't you do that? You know what I mean, Pat?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Especially in our new digital world we're living in.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so we got Tuesday, Thursday workshops. We're going to do a Wednesday live at 11 a.m. PST, 1 Central, 2 Eastern, right? And
that's for non-Art Storefronts members.
Yeah, for non-members that want us to ask us questions. Pricing, features, bells, whistles. Are we going to have somebody run a demo on that? By the way, we're
going to have somebody run a demo at the very beginning. So you can get it'll be a short, compact one. It'll probably be about 15 minutes so that you can get a general idea of the features and the platform, and then we'll take questions on all that different stuff. It'll be more general. If you want a deep dive already right now, and you already know, like you're looking into this more deeply, request a demo ASAP to get in the queue, and somebody will reach out to you to talk to you about your specific business and what your goals are and what you're looking to do.
Cannon just gave us a shout out. What's up, Cannon? Met him last week.
Hey, Cannon.
That was awesome. That was a good story.
Yeah. Cannon was on. That was great. Another thing too is like the part that's blown my mind about where everybody is at that's not an Art Storefronts member yet is the common misconceptions.
Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty.
You and I have talked about this, and I think one of the most profound things that we have learned, and the learnings are just happening at literally light speed, right? Is like, I could drop the art marketing calendar that we have on any of these people and it wouldn't do anything. Yeah. Like, I could give them like our best marketing tactic, and for most of it wouldn't do anything. You know why? Because they already have some mindset or misconceptions that you have to deal with first, because it comes before the execution. It will affect their execution. They'll do things wrong. They think about it the wrong way. They don't know the right way to think about it. They'll give up quickly. Like, I mean, there's so many things, wrong expectations. They refuse to do part of it because they don't believe in it, because they heard somebody say, don't do it this way.
Yep.
I mean, we could go down the list. I could talk about this all day long, all the misconceptions and problems there. And you know what? Those have to be dealt with before somebody can actually, like, you have to clear all the BS out of their heads that's been pumped in there that has nothing to do with anyone, any photographer, artist who's actually successful. In fact, they have all this information in their heads, and when you actually ask them where it came from, it never came from anyone credible. It's like, are you actually talking to photographers and artists selling hundreds of thousands of dollars a year? Do you understand what they're doing? Like that's who you need to listen to. That's who you need to study.
And no
Where
one
are you
else
getting this information from?
And no one
else. Because because what we're hearing is, we hear these theories, and these people are really, some of them are really stubborn on them. It's like, they literally do not stand that they do not stand up to that single question. Like, where did you get this from, and who told you to do it? Right? Like, was it a successful person in this industry at all? No. The answer is no. And so, any of you, I think it's just a good thing to learn, because you have to challenge your own assumptions. You always do. It doesn't matter what stage in your career you're at. It's only smart and to do that, to like challenge your way of thinking, like analyze like the quality of your thought process, and how you're making decisions and what actions you're taking. It's just like, that's just a great way to become a better business person, a better person in life. And so auditing the quality of your own thinking and what assumptions you have and where they came from, and challenging them, is probably the highest value thing that you can do. Because when we get people on these workshops and they literally have these assumptions, Pat, and they tell us that they've had them for 10 years, I'm sitting there and I'm going, first of all, if I gave you our art marketing plan, and without any consulting, right? Because the consulting is where this comes into play. But if I gave you this, you still wouldn't succeed, because we have to deal with that roadblock, And if you remove that roadblock that you've had for 10 years, I will literally make you more successful than you've ever been with that one thing. Because once we remove that thing, now you execute on the right plan and strategy, and you actually have, the ingredients like to start creating success.
Yeah. And the other fun thing about like having been doing this for as long as we have, digital marketing, running businesses online and off, is like, after you get enough reps and sets in yourself, like, it is so easy to authoritatively call out the BS, right? Like that guy, I can't remember he was in the group. I can't remember what his name is. I'm terrible with names. But I'll get him after I meet him a couple more times in there. But he was on a Zoom call, and he took some course from somebody that says, don't ever discount your art. It cheapens the work, right? Like, you and I want to run into that meeting, kick the door down, and suffocate that person who said it, who wrote that book.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
You've never even sold any art your entire life. You've never sold any photography. You probably not even ever done business. Like, you're just a consultant that doesn't know what they're talking about. It infuriates me. And it's like, those are one of those beliefs that people get in their head, right?
Yeah, and why exactly? It is, and it infuriates. Like, why it infuriates us so much, you guys, is because this is what we're dealing with most of the time, Pat. It's like, we came into this and we're like, here's the marketing plan. This works. Let's do this, right? Like, this is what's working. This is what artists and photographers on our platform who are selling hundreds of thousands of dollars are doing. Here it is. Let's do it. Let's focus. Let's go. Let's help you on this. And before we know it, we talk to somebody and it's like, hey, I didn't do that. It's, why didn't you do that? Well, because I heard in this other thing that, I shouldn't do that. And we're like, wait a minute. So we had no idea that we were going to have to peel off layers of BS coming in from outside outside of our ecosystem, things that have been fed to people for 10 years, 20 years, misconceptions, wrong expectations, get rich quick mentality, passive income. I mean, I can't discount, I mean, I don't even know where to end. I'll launch a website and fish will jump into my boat. Generic website's okay. Even though I'm digging a swimming pool with a spoon. I mean, it's just, you could just keep going down that list. And it's nothing we ever expected to do when we set out with our marketing and business consulting, No,
and you know what the ultimate, what's so funny is like the results out there, talk to artists, talk to photographers, map almost directly to these BS held beliefs, right? Like the don't discounting, art doesn't sell online, art's only a commodity, because you see all these people and they don't ever do anything consistently because they buy into those limiting beliefs and they keep looking for an easy way out. And so you start on one website, you don't really give it a fair go, you move to the next website, you go to the next one, you go to the next one, and it never ends up working out. And how often do we see that? It's almost like consistent, right? Like 70% artists and photographers, 80%, constantly hopping around doing the same stuff with no consistency and no plan. And where does it get you? It gets you nowhere because you're listening to a bunch of people that have never sold anything before. It's infuriating. Anyway,
and that's one of the big things though that I mean, obviously this is coming up enough to where, like it's one of the things that we're talking about more and we're going to be talking about more is really auditing who you're listening to.
Yeah. And I would say, who
are you listening to? Who have you listened to? Think about all your assumptions that you got your heels dug in on, and where did they come from?
Yeah. Murdy loves the analogy of taking a swimming pool with a spoon. But look at this. You know who's not buying into these beliefs? Otto, because he just signed up on Friday and he's got a call scheduled for today. 14 days, Otto. I'm going to recognize that beard.
I love it.
And I realized because I saw you in some of the lives before. 14 days, get that site live, start marketing. Don't worry about discounting. Don't worry about art doesn't sell online or any of the rest of that nonsense. Right? We'll show you the way. I mean,
Otto's going to do great. I remember talking to Otto on Zoom,
Yeah.
All right. So
those things get me fired up, dude. They just do.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Honestly, like these talks are they're so great. And I just really hope that everybody that's listening just, and it's Art Storefronts members and non-members alike, just hearing this stuff, it is so empowering if you let it in, right? To understand now where the misconceptions have been in this industry for 100 years. You know what I mean? Probably 1,000 years. I think I've been in the art industry for 20 years and I've heard this stuff nonstop. And it's, to finally be able to be like, wow, like that is so true. That's what I've been doing. That's what my friends have been doing. Yeah. I don't really have access to, correct information. I'm not getting my information from anyone who's done it before, who is actually telling me like, oh yeah, I'm selling $500,000 a year and I never discounted, right? Do you have 5 or 10 people that you can point to with that aren't Louis Vuitton or, as you always say, or somebody like that? Well, because we don't. We actually have the exact opposite, And so auditing that and finally coming to terms with the way that you've been thinking about your business, yourself, your future, how you're going to get there. It's very empowering. It's very empowering if you let it in, But that's why we're talking about it every week. Every week, the information keeps changing because we keep moving forward with our customers, with our members. We keep talking to non-members, and we're just getting so much information and data in that. And then you and I, we talk about it offline to each other. We talk about it as a team, and then we come back on these things, and we're able to kind of, turn it into something coherent, right? Like talk about it, to package it up and talk about it with you guys. So that you guys can understand and go, wow, I never thought of it that way.
It's becoming such a family jam too. I was just sitting there thinking you were talking, and I'm like, we have all these customers. Okay, for those of you guys that are not customers, you wouldn't know this, but we have twice weekly Zoom calls, and we'll get a couple hundred customers on a Zoom call, and it's just basically one-on-one consulting with the individual.
These members. Are the private ones you're referring to.
Yeah, the private ones. And 90% of the people are there just to listen and learn, because you learn a ton from shared experiences, trials, and tribulations, and everyone's got the same problem. What problem is that, Nick? What's that problem?
Marketing
problem. So we've gone through this, and I think we've done, this week's got to be 22 or 23, somewhere in the 20s. And it's so fun to be on these lives and we see all these people bi-weekly now, and then you see their face pop in on a Facebook comment or like on Instagram, and they're out there. Like, it's rad. There's like a definite family vibe going on with this whole thing.
For sure. Yeah. That's why we call it the Art Storefronts family. When you join, like it's totally a family vibe where everybody's working on the business together.
Yep. And that's not changing anytime soon. Thanks, Marie. Harvesting corn by hand, ASF website, just bought a combine. Oh, that's a good one. That's true though. And boy, are we seeing it. I mean, we opened up the call with Nick, giving some of the numbers that we looked at. Every Monday morning, we have like a marketing meeting where we go over all the numbers and all the metrics, and the sheer amount of art that is being sold on our platform right now. The fact that it's like Q4 level is 100% attributable to where we're at with these customer calls and how hard they are executing on their marketing, which is insane. Like, there are so many people shipping so many things that they were not even coming close to shipping before we started. Like, that is the biggest change. That's the biggest change in all of it.
For sure. So to reiterate the number, the sales from artist and photographer websites last week grew 256% year over year. The same time period last year compared to this year, 256% growth this year. And it's true. It's what's most impressive is how the entire strategy and playbook changed for the pandemic, and everybody is executing on that, right? Yeah. And they're executing on it. They adapted, they moved quickly, and they are, marketing and selling art where it's happening. And that's what's creating the growth. There's no other way to say it, right? Like, that's one of the things, like, pandemic happened. We didn't wait a second. None of us. That includes our members, right? It's like, boom, this happened. It's time to move. 2 months ago, we started with the new strategies, and it was just like, hey, this situation sucks. It is what it is, but doesn't matter. We're not moping. We're not sitting around. We are moving forward with the new tactics based on the new situation on the ground. And that's how we do it. That's how we do it.
Did you ever watch the Kung Fu Panda with the kiddos?
No.
Anyway, the whole thing's, it's like Jack Black is like the panda, and the whole thing is based on the premise that there's this secret scroll. Okay, so that's why you'd love this movie. There's this secret scroll. It's hidden way up here. It's like, gonna change everything if you can just get it, right? And everybody wants to get it. It's supposed to have the secret to make you the most unbelievable Kung Fu person in the world, right? And he finally gets the scroll, and he opens it up, and you know what it is? It's a mirror. It's just a mirror. It's a reflective thing. And I feel like that's what it is. Everyone out there is constantly going for that scroll, right? To find out what the secret is till you can get there. And then it just turns a mirror on you. And that's what it is. And that's why we're doing as well as we are right now. Our customers are doing as well, because it's not anything other than marketing, executing and marketing. Now, granted, there's high ROI marketing and low ROI marketing. It's one of the things that we discuss and we share the data with our customers. But once you do that, it's just holding. Yeah. And Marie's got the secret ingredient is nothing. The secret ingredient is you. That's what it is. And Marie, you tell me you don't agree with that. Like, look at how well you're doing right now. Like, it's just executing. It's just executing.
We love Marie, like, and how she's executing and how she's doing. Yeah. She's been on our live workshops for members. Talking about some different things, but like, the most important lesson that I said to her, and we've said to other members as well, because when we're working on, like, when they're executing on a specific, like, playbook or tactic, like at one specific time of the year, it's like, we all naturally as human beings, you have a tendency to be like, did I do everything okay? Right? Like, or did I miss something? Or I feel like I could have gotten something a little bit more. I could have gotten a few more email subscribers out of this, or a few more sales. But the real thing to me, and I know to you as well, that we care about with Marie is to turn her into a person, that is able to execute on an ongoing basis and become successful. I want her to become the type of person that can become successful.
We got cut off for an hour on Instagram, so you might as well turn these speakers on.
All right.
Hour up, hour down. I forgot about that. Normally it gives you like a little timer, but then it just kind of, gave me the chop.
Yes, well, I don't know where I cut off on that, but I think that is like such a profound thing about what we're doing, right? Like, we are trying. Like, are we trying to give everybody exactly what to do all year long? Yes. right? Are we trying to give them business and marketing consulting? Yes. But at the end of the day, we're trying to turn people into the types of people that can become successful.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Totally.
we're trying to get them to think the right way and adjust their programming to think about the art business the way that they should think about it, to think about marketing, think about the time they spend on it, you know, what they focus on, what metrics matter, right? On an ongoing basis, so that they become the type of person that can build a successful business. And that's what I care about the most. So when I see Marie moving forward on that path, which she clearly is, she's becoming one step further every day, more of, you know, building more of the characteristics of the people that create success in their business. And that's the key.
Yep. And let's not,
it's more about mental programming than anything, you know?
Yeah. And let's not be telling tales from school. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. Like year 3 to 5, you start getting some serious steam. Year 5 to 7, you potentially have a great business. 7 to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And like, by the way, big surprise. Everyone's got someone in their neighborhood that is doing really, really well, or is about to sell their company or sold their company. And do you know what no one has in their neighborhood? Someone that got there in 1 year or 6 months or 3 months. No. They've been at it for 10 to 12 to 13 to 14 years, and things started really getting good at year 3, 4, 5. Well, guess what? That's where most people are starting, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You come to terms with it, and you start grinding. Everyone's got to put in the work.
You know the truth, like my number on how many years, like my magic number from my experiences in building companies is 5.
5?
Yeah, but 5. No, but let me explain what 5 is. Yeah. Year 5 is like, it's like you're going up a hill. It's like you're pushing a wheelbarrow up a hill, right? And year 5 is the time you hit the top, right? And then every year after that, it's going downhill, meaning it gets easier. It gets easier. Now, running a business is always running a business, right? Yeah. But year 5, you have iterated enough, you know, and you built a little bit of a brand, you built a customer list, you built a lead list, you figured out what's working with your marketing, what doesn't. You've figured out which products of yours work better than the others. And all of that is just a process of optimizing towards perfection over time. That's all a business is, right? Yep. As you build a business every year, you are optimizing towards perfection over time. And as you do that, it's going to get easier, you know, because you've learned that, like, you have a lot of learning lessons about things that now that you know work through experience and that you can do really well, and they're not very hard for you, that you just didn't know up front. And you just can't know without doing the work, you know? But no matter what I've done as an entrepreneur, 5 years, like 5 years is really that number where you're like, okay, wow, that early stage grind is over, you know? Like,
and you start getting you know, the momentum of like all of those years, and it helps you out in times when you least expect it. And you're just like, oh, finally, thank God, right?
Yeah.
All right, you want to leave it there?
Yep. All right, one final.
Anybody that wants more information, best thing to do, put in a demo request. Our wonderful, helpful team will reach out to you and see whether or not you're a fit. And other than that, we'll see you live.
Yeah, and also don't forget the discount. We're running a massive discount right now to join Art Storefronts. So there's never been a better time. Get your demo request in. Don't wait because people at the end of last month were not able to get in. That's why we extended it, and it's just for May. So get your demo request in there, and you'll get in the queue.
Yep. And apologies for having to move into the bedroom in this totally wacky view, but you know, this is COVID combat. COVID kid combat.
Yep.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
All right. See you guys.